There are only three things that I focus on when I'm trying to lose fat and when I'm in a successful fat loss phase, which are getting 10 to 15,000 steps a day. Yes, I'm not going to make you wait for the tips. I'm going to tell you exactly what they are. And the way I achieve that is with a standing desk and an under-the-desk treadmill. So even if I have 12 hours of meetings a day, I can still get it. Same thing with my deep work. I can do the deep work while I'm burning fat, or I could go for outside walks, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do if you're working 12 plus hours a day. The second thing is I make sure I eat in a calorie deficit. For me, that's about 2,300 calories. Sometimes I can go as high as 2,500. I've built up my metabolism over time. The average man is going to be looking more at 1,800 to 2,000. Okay, that's the second thing. And the third thing is I make sure I lift. I lift weights at least 3 days a week, and I'm hitting every single muscle in my body, especially upper body, because for me, I don't lose legs very easily, but upper I can lose very easily. Now, how can you apply this to yourself? This might have been the fastest YouTube video of all time. It's been less than a minute. You already know what to do. Well, the way that you can customize this for yourself is you need to look at first the area of step count, which is how many steps are you doing per day? If you're like the average sedentary man who's sitting in front of a desk working 8+ hours a day, whether you're an entrepreneur, a programmer, an engineer, whatever else it may be, then there's a high chance you're only getting 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. Now, if you're a doctor, you might also only be getting 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day, but you might also be walking around the hospital. Of course, there are various other professions where you might be moving around more. And when I was a personal trainer in the gym for many years, I was already getting 10,000, 15,000 by accident, okay? Versus when I became an online coach, I became that guy who's only getting 2,000 to 3,000 by default unless I consciously built the habits around walking more. And the cool thing is, even without the under-the-desk treadmill and all that stuff, you can still go for walks throughout the day. Like the first time that I lost 20 pounds as an online entrepreneur, all I needed to do was go for 3 15-minute walks a day, and that was enough to get my step count where it needed to be, about 8,000 to 10,000 to lose fat. But as I've refined this process and worked this process on hundreds of other entrepreneurs who are older than me, work more hours than me, who are obviously not in the fitness industry because then they wouldn't have needed this help in the first place, I developed a few other strategies, including the under-the-desk treadmill, and I've worked on some efficiencies where 10 to 15K is a little bit better. So for you, if you're at 2,000 to 3,000 right now, maybe the realistic step for you is to go for a couple 10-minute walks per day, and I did a video on that recently, which should get you up to 5,000 to 6,000. That'll make a difference, especially when coupled with the diet and the training aspect, which are the other three sides of this triangle, right? Also, the fourth side of the triangle is getting more sleep, and I actually have a video called the Fat Loss Triangle where I go into 5 things that you need, with supplements being the last one, but honestly, supplements is really not something you need. So it's really only 4 things, and in the video, my point is that the 5th aspect, supplements, is the least important, which is pretty much not even required for most people unless you have, even if you have a vitamin D deficiency, you can still lose fat without fixing that, but obviously you'll live a higher quality life if you fix it. But the point is, even going up to 5,000 to 6,000 steps a day, if you're currently at 2,000 to 3,000, will make a difference. And then if you can go up to 8,000 to 10,000, even better. If you can get under the desk treadmill, I have some guys, like I have this one engineer with 3 kids, mashallah, in his 40s, who lost a bunch of weight. He lost his first 20 pounds in under 90 days, I believe. I can go check his exact stats. But mashallah, he crushed it, and he was easily able to get 15,000 steps a day, even while working sometimes 18+ hour days. Not every day, but some days, right? So the little walks, the under the desk treadmill, these are some ways you can get your steps to achieve the first side of my 4-sided fat loss triangle, okay? Now, as far as the diet side of things goes, the average person is looking about 1,800 to 2,000. I have a lot of videos that go much deeper into diet, so you can check all those out, and I'll link some at the end, along with my in-depth, longer fat loss triangle video where I go really nuanced and deep into each of these, aspects. Right, and the third one is the lifting side of things, which I actually have some videos on strength training for beginners that I could also link you. I have a lot of videos I need to link you at the end of this. So what I'll go ahead and do is I'll link the fat loss triangle video here, actually, fat loss triangle here. And then I'll link one of the others here, and I'll also put a bunch of links below. And if you need coaching, then go ahead and click the link in the description as well to learn more about how we can help you directly and how I can just build a proper customized plan for you and hold you accountable to it as well. So again, fat loss triangle, another random resource here, and everything else you need in the comments below. See you in the next video, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.